From the MDR studios in Davenport, Iowa, Quad Cities, you're listening to Minor Disturbance Radio. About all things that rock and some that suck. Minor Disturbance Radio, or podcast episode 89.
89.
We just got done doing the radio show, and now we can cut loose a little bit. We've got Doug Brundies over here.
What up?
And Chuck Murphy. They're doing this acoustic thing that they do where you can go check them out and scream out songs, and you guys will fight over who can play it better. I don't know.
We just fuck off.
To the death. That's
That's what I was going to say, dude.
Pretty
Down,
yeah.
down, down. Red Knight's going down.
I'll mess with him a little bit. He messes back, or take little stabs at each other, and we play just everything, anything you want.
We're both all about the entertainment aspect of things too, not just taking ourselves too seriously, just having fun.
Well, how could you take yourself seriously?
No,
not at all.
Be honest.
It's not
Weren't you guys like enemies for a short while?
No.
Be honest.
Be honest.
No, not at all. It's
Be
just,
honest.
I think we had a
Look
big
how deflective and defensive.
We had a big disagreement on some things.
like you and I've talked before, I think it's the alpha thing. We were both singers of a band. We both wanted to be the cool kid, and we were both
failing.
Whether we were or not, we both. I know I did, just because that's how I was. I looked at him as like a rival.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
It's part of
You
the
were
scene.
Competitors.
Yes,
Correct,
exactly.
correct.
Full
But
contact sport.
competitors.
But I've known
Yeah.
Chuck for 25 years because we.
Does anyone really know Chuck?
Well, here's the thing. Chuck notoriously never really gets credit for anything. It's like everybody immediately wants to like hate on Chuck for some reason. There's
other people do that to him, too? I thought okay.
It's okay. Most of the time, I
You're
deserve
not
it.
the only one.
It's okay, Chuck. There's a long line of people that hate me too, and I've found in my older age that you can judge a person not only by the friends that they keep, but the enemies that they have.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's okay, Chuck.
Oh, good.
Plus, the line's always getting shorter, too.
The older you get, the less you care too. So
But Doug was always, I've known him since he was pretty young, because your mom used to come see Drop Hammer all the time.
All right.
She probably blew
Kind of
you,
weird.
too.
Kind of weird.
I was going to go ahead and say it. I was like,
Yeah.
Doug probably blew you all too. Cool.
Yeah.
Your mom
No, I'm just kidding.
your
I
mom
know.
has never blown me.
No, and
She's a great woman. I love Di.
she's awesome.
fun
She's
fact:
awesome.
she was Damon's kindergarten teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a small world.
Yeah, I love Di. She's always been a really sweet person.
Mom's awesome. Mom's pretty awesome.
So, all right. Well,
So now what are we talking about?
So then there's this one time Doug's mom
So
was blowing me in the
point
back.
is,
and like,
it's one time I put a fire cap on both okay.
we'll
Well,
talk-
you're so cool about it. All right, I did. I did
we'll
fuck
talk
her.
later, Travis.
I did fuck your mom.
I didn't do nothing wrong, but I fell on upper boobs once.
Yeah.
It's all right. Whatever.
Yeah. So I've known you since you were young,
Yes,
and
yeah,
your mom
absolutely.
talked about you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I just had to keep going, yeah, whatever, Di. She's like, oh, my son can play guitar and he can sing too. He's in a band. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, you want my autograph? What do you want to do?
It's long. I got others to look at. I got a long list of women.
No.
What's going on?
But what's interesting is when I first met you, Doug, you reminded me as soon as I saw you. You looked like a young Nikki Sixx.
I had the black spiky hair, and some tattoos, and wore like leather and like. Well, I'm not really leather.
It was just
I had
the
a
way you
leather
looked.
jacket.
You just had that kind of Nikki Sixx look.
Black shirt, jeans with holes in it, chain wallet. It was the grunge look, man.
Our Jinko jeans.
Jankos, dude.
Jankos.
Yeah.
You'd sweep the floor while
did.
I walked.
You not could.
I did.
You did.
Well, I'll say this.
Carried
I remember
the garbage with you.
It was the back of QC Live. I think was one of the first times I remember seeing you.
maybe it's all blurred to me.
You was blurred to you.
All I knew is that I was blown away by it. I just liked you from the start because
Like more than
you were
a
just
friend.
so nice,
right.
and adjusted.
Outgoing and-
Until he got to know you.
Yeah. Well, no, until he got to know me. Yeah.
You can fool them for a while, though. Seriously, like I usually get a good solid 3 months before people figure out I'm evil.
I think it was Uptown or something in Bettendorf. I went to actually go see your acoustic show, and this was when you first started doing it.
Was it when I opened up because I opened up a couple of the Lynn Allen
I don't remember what it was, Doug.
And it was Uptown. I played an acoustic
Good old
set
Scott.
before. Yeah,
but it might have been.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, wow. I mean, you really
sucks.
No, I was thinking, wow, this guy's actually got a voice.
He's getting paid,
and he's doing really good. And it made me wish that I was up there with a guitar and playing
by yourself. Yeah.
Let's be honest, being an acoustic guy in a club or a bar or anything, you kind of like, ooh, thank God I'm not up there doing that.
right?
You know,
Right.
Guy's gonna get hit in the head with a beer bottle.
Right. Well, I'll see it coming though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the lights are usually on. They're not like dark and like got lights shining in your eyes.
Right.
I'm gonna see that son of a bitch coming. I'm gonna grab it and be like, throw it right back, or take a drink and then throw it back.
Yeah.
Now, I've been at some parties before where after everybody's drunk and I get an acoustic out and people want to hear a bunch, like a quarter of about 30 different songs.
Right.
I don't know any songs all the way through.
Can you play?
But-
Can you play "Every Rose Has Its Thorns"?
Sure, coming right up.
That's exactly how I kind of started. Was I had a bachelor pad with like 4 guys living in a 1-bedroom apartment. We always had parties, and we would all get drunk. And the only thing that was there really, I had my one acoustic guitar in the corner, and I always had to play like half of "Drive" by Incubus, or like half of. What's the Red Hot Chili Peppers song? Under the Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted to fucking sing that song. So
Yeah.
then I was like, yeah, but it didn't really dawn on me then. I was just like, I'm trying to get laid. I'm just going to play these songs. Hey, what's up? Good looking. I'm playing it, playing while I'm looking. Yeah.
Did it work?
Sometimes. Sometimes, and then sometimes you wake up in the morning.
Until they figured out who you were.
What songs were they, Doug? Incubus and stuff?
Incubus, Drive.
I want to see what kind of girls these were.
They were
Because I can tell you what the Every Rose Has Its Thorn girls were like.
God.
Well, yeah.
Aquanet girls.
Circle boob girls.
I've seen Debbie Does Dallas. I know those.
Yeah.
Right. I want to remind the people that are watching the podcast, because not a lot of people that watch the podcast are in bands, so they don't really know that whole vibe.
Right.
They're kind of intrigued by it. But I can tell you this: it's one thing to go on stage with 3 other people. You have a guitar in front of you, you have a bass player over there, a guitar player over there, a drummer behind you, whatever it is, and you come out as a group and you start singing and doing your thing.
Right.
There's a certain comfort in that. It's still brave. It's still super brave to do.
Yeah. Sure.
Imagine in just normal lighting sometimes, Chuck, because I know you've played gigs where there's no lights. It's just kind of there, right?
I played Pizza Ranch before, so we're good.
Yeah. And
did they bring you whatever kind of pizza?
You walk in.
I got a free buffet
with a guitar case and a microphone and a speaker on a stick.
Yep.
And you just kind of pull the guitar out and start strumming it, and people are trying to eat dinner or have wine or whatever they're doing, and you're like, hello, folks.
I'm Doug Brundies.
This one...
you know what? I don't ever introduce myself.
Night.
Talk about balls of steel. You've got to be a certain kind of person to be able to do that.
Well, let's see. What are the list of traits? You've got genuine courage. Okay, that's a possibility.
Okay, yeah.
You've got reckless abandon, right? Right. Or you've got mental retardation. Those are your options.
Yeah.
No, so which is it, guys?
Well, it's weird. I would take a D. That's
right in my ass.
Back in high school, I would used to take the grade of a D.
I'm going to run with this. I'm going to run with this.
No, that's fine. Like when I would give a speech in front of the class, I hated speaking in front of the class. I couldn't do it.
Sure.
I could not do it. I was like, fail me. I don't care. Give me the grade of D. Like, like I don't care, or fail me. Give me an F.
Right.
Like,
See, I was the same way in high school.
I
was the loner that didn't really talk to people. I didn't really make eye contact. I just kind of kept to myff.
I would never have guessed that.
Once I started playing in the bands, it was like a whole new atmosphere woke up.
For sure.
Well, and that's kind of the shitty thing of being an acoustic solo artist, because you're your own roadie, you're your own sound guy, you're your own beer bitch, you're your own fucking everything. Like you have to do everything.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
I remember around the time people started doing these kinds of little bitty bar gigs with these little 1-speaker PA systems. What do you think of the quality of that stuff? And do you think it's really made it to the point where you can carry it around without killing yourself?
You're talking about the Bose systems and shit?
Well, I don't know. Just like this, maybe even the stuff that you guys have. I know that's kind of a technical question, but
I have a JBL 1, and it's the same thing. It's a little line array system with a sub. that
Okay.
You hook into.
Like how many
And
speakers are in the line array?
5 or 6.
Okay.
5 to 7.
Right, and they're little
3-inch
Little
speakers.
speakers.
3
and they're
inch,
just
3.5
splayed all,
inch, yeah,
You know,
right.
and then I have, and it all collapses.
And they're easy. And they're
They've
lightweight.
yes,
you can carry them without killing yourself.
Yeah, they're. I think mine's like 50 or 60 pounds.
Wow.
Like, you just-
It's good
right.
for people like in like big cities like Chicago and stuff.
Sure.
Take the trains, they throw them
Yeah.
on their back and go.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can buy backpacks for them to
Yep.
put them in.
Cool.
And strap them over your
But
shoulder.
for me,
That's
I've never
badass.
really liked them because they distort really easily.
Oh, really?
They
So you
do.
got to, you got to
Certain-
keep them
certain
tuned.
ones,
Well, you
yeah.
got to get away from the notion that in order to get sound to the back of the room, the way you do it is by turning up. In processed arrays, that's not the way it works.
Correct. No.
Whatever volume works for you, most likely, and standing where you're standing, relative to it, most likely works for everybody in the bar.
Yeah.
So you just treat it like that.
Yeah.
Very, very cool, though.
Yeah, 'cause whenever I do solo stuff, dude, I'm hardly turned up at all.
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
And people can hear it just fine.
Full bands are going around in this club scene playing for anywhere from like $300 to, I don't know, I'll just throw out $1,000
Yeah.
for some of the more draw bands, and maybe a couple thousand for the real good draw bands.
right.
I mean, what kind of numbers could you guys bring home for an acoustic show on the average?
Nah, Brian always wants to talk about mine.
Let's say about none of
You
your
want to know too?
business.
About
No, I don't
about
really
that
care,
much.
but-
Yeah, you
ahead.
do.
I
You
seriously
try to
don't.
act like you don't care.
I actually don't.
The honest
I look at
answer
it
is
this
enough
way.
to make it a living.
Yeah, I would say I look at it this way. I have a house. I can pay my
Yep.
mortgage.
See, you guys are afraid
Car
to say a
payment.
number because somebody might say, you might be playing cheap for somebody.
There's somebody
I
out in
get
this
it.
world
I
that's
get
going to
it.
go,
And you know
why
what?
am I not getting paid that much?
No,
Horrible question.
It's actually,
but here,
but it's. I understand the question because
nobody fucking watches this podcast, so you're insane.
you keep saying
honest.
that. You keep saying that.
Well, why
then
are
the
we
one time
recording
somebody
then? Why
does.
don't we just not get together and have a conversation? What's with the microphones?
No,
I'm
I'm
just
going to
kidding,
throw a
man.
number out there.
All right.
And usually acoustic acts, you guys can do more shows because,
Right.
you know,
I mean, I have 4 or 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
right. So I would just imagine, even if you were making, say, $200 a gig, and you
$1,000
played
a week.
5 nights a week.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And you're not playing from 9 till 2 in the morning, right?
No, just usually 3 hours.
It's been, well, see, I know you probably started like me with 4
different.
hours.
Yeah,
but
it's
been
I started 4,
weeding
like
down.
9 to 1, 9 to 1, 9 to 1. Now
Yeah.
it's 9 to midnight. Like
Or 8 to 11.
I found out like a lot of bars and stuff, it'll slow down at midnight or once it does hit midnight, the people that are there, they just want to dump some money in the jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So then the bar is making their nut
Yeah.
still with the jukebox money
Right.
and having entertainment. They kind of get a best of both worlds.
Okay.
Because it takes me 5-10 minutes to set up or tear down, so there's not a lot of commotion on
Yeah.
that. And once the show's done, like the whole energy just changes.
Yeah.
It's all focused at the bar. Nobody
Got it.
cares.
Exactly.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Chuck, what's your favorite song to play and your least favorite song to play in
Good
your set?
question.
You know what? I don't honestly know if I have a favorite one anymore, just because it's just routine to me, and it is what it is.
Okay.
But as far as like least favorite, I know Doug'll. It's probably the same stuff you guys played. Like the
Yeah.
Jesse's Girl and Blister in the Sun, Wagon Wheel. Of course, you guys didn't play that, but
Yeah.
it's just like the bar standards. But of course, the way I look at it is, I don't care if I like the songs. It's not about me. I'm not paying my own bills. The people that are out there having fun and buying drinks, that's what's paying my bills.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because when you think about making a living doing music,
You don't play for yourself ever.
right?
No.
When you were a
Every
kid,
once in a while, maybe.
when you were a kid, you thought that making a living playing music meant you loved every night, you loved every second
Sure,
of the music
correct.
that you were playing, and all that stuff. And some people are doing that; they're very fortunate. But after the 50th gig of the tour, and
Right.
after making the record and doing
Right.
all the promo stuff,
Things have
it's-
changed so much,
yeah,
too.
It gets to
Dude,
be
yeah.
tedious,
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
like Kiss playing Rock and Roll All Night,
Dude, yeah.
or something like that. They're not feeling that anymore.
No.
And it's interesting to think about, because when you were young, you thought, "Oh man, I would love to do that. Put a guitar in my hand, and that's how I make my living.
Right.
That's what I want to do.
Right.
But people don't understand. You're getting paid for a reason. It's because you're not doing everything.
Right.
Because
Right.
if
They're
it were
saying
up to
dance
you,
monkey,
right? If it were up to you, you'd probably you'd want to play your own art and all that
Right.
stuff.
Every once in a while, like if the night gets a little slow and people are like, "Why you play your favorite song, man?" And I'm like, "Okay."
You won't care, but here you go.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you won't know who failure is.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I thought about wearing my failure shirt.
Yeah, me too.
But the people that know who failure are probably at home, like
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Listening
we
to
don't
failure.
go out. Exactly.
But
They're an
whenever they do
acquired
come,
taste.
when they do come out and you do play it, you have that connection. Like,
Correct. You have that one or two people that are just like, I'm going to come see you all the time because you played failure.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever fucking played failure before.
Yeah. No shit. And they're like, poke an eye.
So, Doug, have you ever completely almost zoned out and don't even remember playing some songs in your set?
Oh yeah, dude. I watch TV when I play.
Why?
I hate to say
I'll
it.
even comment on the score right in the middle of the song.
If because it's there's
Bye, Miss America. 11 to 2.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I'm like, ooh, did you see that hit?
I'm good. Yeah.
Like, oh,
11
come on,
to 2.
Cubs.
11 to 2.
What sport are you watching?
The beginning of a basketball game.
or a really weird
during
football
March
game.
Madness.
Yeah. A really weird football game.
Probably a Redskins game. Right. Yeah. So, Doug, what would be your least?
What was? Did you even answer what song was your least favorite? I can.
No, he glossed over it like a politician.
I know.
He's been politicianing all night.
You know what?
That's the word I was
Fig you,
looking for.
Brian.
That's the
Fig
word I was
you.
looking for. That's what I was looking for.
Fig you.
Fig me?
Yes,
Yeah.
if you know anything about watching this impeachment stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know anything
Fig
about
you.
it.
I had fun talking about the acoustic thing. That's a blast. I'm sure
Cool.
you guys are burnt on that.
Bored with
but
it now.
let's talk about the Slayer show at the Tax Slayer
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
Slayer! All right, that's going to be irritating.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I've had enough of that.
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
Dude, wow.
Did it peak?
Yeah. Clippy
Dude, there were
Clippy
people
McClippers-
screaming Slayer while Slayer was playing. I was
Right.
like,
It's like,
you-
yeah, you're right,
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
I'm like, come
They're
on.
just saying the word that is the thing that they're looking at.
Like Brian and I, we had 17-year-old kids behind us. We're like,
Here's my experience with this whole thing.
Okay.
First of all, I go with Chuck because he's
Okay.
got free tickets. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
And he obviously doesn't know how to like park, so we had to park way down in some other parking ramp, like a half a mile away from the tax
because
center.
I don't know how to park.
Yeah, because, dude, I would have found a spot. I was like, there's one.
But you didn't want to drive, so I had to pick you up.
All right.
how long?
Yeah, man,
how
I'll
long
go with you,
guys
but I don't
been
want to
married?
drive.
It was
Right?
What was it, like 20 degrees that night, too? Something like
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was
Yeah.
We
pretty
walked a block and a half. Shut up.
that. So, anyway, we're walking to the Tax Slayer Center. And there's already packs of these bearded
Neanderthals.
people Slayer outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are they
What are
doing?
we-
This
what
is
are-
weird.
Yeah.
And we get in the building, and I've never seen, like I said, I've never seen so many beards. You know, because it used to be the long hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Now
no.
it's beards.
Beards.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
these dudes
Forest of beards.
are coming from everywhere. These people are coming out of the woodwork, and they're I'm sorry, man, but I have never seen a bigger group of like, the gas station clerks.
The misfits.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
The misfits,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
The
Right.
dregs.
I'm not trying to be like that, but there was a lot of that there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just
so.
People you knew you couldn't have a conversation with.
Oh, you'd be
At all.
surprised, man.
Because I did say Slayer.
Maybe.
Well, but it was all middle aged.
Yeah.
Though it was. I mean,
yeah,
there
they-
was some young kids there,
Yeah.
but it was all middle aged and older. And honestly, it was. I felt everybody was just there to do one thing, and it was fucking drink.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that.
Did you
Phil Anselmo like stole the show. It was the most energetic. There was actually people moshing. I downed a half a bottle of Jim Beam within that first set. He was like, I was just doing shots of black
and held
too,
it down.
and held it
into
down.
The
And I'm like,
second set.
dude, it was so killer. And then it just like from then on out, nobody moshed. Nobody.
Really?
It looked really.
You think they just shot their wad? Like they were like, yeah, we moshed.
Like I said,
because they're all old and they're like, oh, okay, time out. And
More
then the young
moshing.
kids got up there and they didn't know. They're like,
They don't know.
who's ministry?
Exactly.
Right.
Just
I went
one
with
fix. What's
I
that?
went with
Yeah.
don't
Chuck,
know.
so we got there a little late. I missed Phil Anselmo.
Oh, that was the best.
And so I was like bummed about that because that's who I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And he started at 6 or something. You know,
Yeah,
and-
which was weird. Having
gave
a
him
start
what?
time at 6, but to get 4 bands on by 10 o'clock.
What they
you
give him
have
like
to do that.
35 minutes?
Yeah, the first, I think it was like 35 minutes. And then the next, I think Ministry and Primus both played 45s, I think. And then when Slayer got there, I'm not gonna lie, I left after.
I was
when
We
so-
did
Slayer
about
started.
songs we were out.
I was
Yeah.
so out of place in that
Slayer
in that
started,
arena.
I watched like 3 or 4 songs. I was like,
I'm out.
I
I'm
got
gonna
it.
go home. I got a baby.
I got
Yeah.
it.
There's,
Yeah.
well, like Brian and I talked on the way home, there's only so much constant pop, 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 pop you can take in your head, especially, in our youth. We could stand that stuff a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, the way I looked at it is my anger and all the pissed offness is not there anymore like it used
You
to be when
don't
I was a
want it
kid.
to be there.
Yeah.
That's why it's
just
gone.
Like, and I remember thinking, I'm like, fuck, I can see why people break shit when they listen to this.
Yeah,
Because
for
that's
sure.
how my head felt.
For sure. For sure. Although there is something to making
okay,
it so that
Dougie?
you can reintegrate some of that music, in measured doses, let's say.
Sure.
Because
All right.
it's not like your anger was totally unjustified.
Correct. Yep.
And that's how I feel about metal.
Yeah.
It's like it's pro wrestling, man.
I'm not a big fan of Ministry. That band was around when that whole transition was happening from the music I loved to
Yeah.
the music that was
that late 80s,
Skinny
early
Puppy.
90s.
Right.
history.
Yeah, right.
and
Portion
the
control.
greatest part of the night for me, really, like the best time I had at that entire show
Primus?
was Primus.
Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yes.
And not only because they sounded the best, I've never
Dude, they
heard
sound so good.
I've never heard that system ever since the Mark, any show in that place that
crystal
sounded
clear.
that
Yep.
good.
Really?
Primus sounded absolutely amazing.
You know,
I
how
think kick-ass.
with a 5-string bass, once you start hitting that B note, it starts to get a little muddy sometimes.
Yeah, a lot
if you
of
don't know what
times,
you're
yeah.
doing. But he was like crystal clear the whole
Oh,
night.
Dude,
awesome,
his
dude.
bass
It's
tone
just-
was killer.
Sick, huh?
And the thing is, too, about that band, they're not super heavy and it's not overdriven.
No. It's a different
guitars.
heavy, dude.
I'll tell
It's
you-
a different heavy.
Yeah.
Those guys were playing the shit out of those instruments like they've been playing together for fucking 20 years. It was
Yeah.
crisp, clear. Ministry. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. You can cut that out.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
No, I won't.
No, we're leaving that in.
Okay, but
Face.
I know Primus sounded fucking phenomenal. Like
Yes.
they did. Like
They sounded
so
awesome.
good.
They're our jam band of the alternative.
So we walk
Sure,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
and when Ministry started, there's these kids that were sitting behind Chuck and I, and they were banging their head like they were in a Twisted Sister video.
Yep.
To
Primus?
Ministry the
Oh, to
entire
Ministry.
time, right? To Ministry the entire time, and then here comes Primus, and they're playing, and these dudes are behind us, and I heard this, and I heard this, this shit's fucking weird. and I kind of sat in my seat like, yes, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I knew that whole arena was waiting for Slayer. And to put Primus right before Slayer like
Yeah.
that, I thought the
Ministry
the
should
better
have been
decisions,
before them.
it should have been like Primus and then Ministry and then, or actually it should have been Primus, Primus, Ministry, Phil Anselmo,
Correct.
and then Slayer.
Slayer.
Yeah.
To
Right.
me.
Yeah. As far
But,
as how good the bands were.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was funny to see people they didn't know what to do.
No, dude.
How did you describe Primus?
Primus is like it's like being on drugs but not being on drugs. So you
Okay.
feel
Yeah.
it gave you this feeling of
It just messes with your head the whole time.
it was good art, man.
Yeah.
And
the video behind it was pretty cool too.
Because it was synced to the music
it was
perfect.
It gave you a
Yeah.
different
Music.
element too.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
It would like play us a video forward and then hit the beat and then go backwards and then go forward a little bit even more.
Awesome.
And then hit the beat and go
Yeah.
back.
Oh, it was so
And,
cool.
Here come the bastards, just like here they come.
Yep, it was so
like,
cool.
whoa.
That's
it was
great,
like a
dude.
dude with a monkey mask on riding a bike. I'm like, that's probably why they're
yeah,
like,
it was-
dude, this shit's
that's perfect
fucking
monkey riding a
weird.
bike.
Like, yeah, dude, that's
It was really weird, but they sounded awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
monstrous sounding.
You know
awesome.
what?
And their guitar player, his parts never make sense, but they fucking work.
I love
yeah.
it, dude. I love it. I love that band since Frizzle Fry, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I heard that shit, and at first I was like, "Oh, the guitar sounds all fucked up and out of tune or something."
Then you started to understand.
right? But then I was like, "But that bass, that
Yeah.
bass guitar, dude, I
Yeah.
gotta listen." So I kept listening to it, and eventually, like almost kind of like with growl vocals, like they kind of make sense to me now in the right context. His guitar parts started making sense to me, and
Sure.
now it's like I wish there were more people that played in that weird way. You know,
Correct.
The whole time
yeah.
I was watching that band, actually, ever since I've seen that band, I assumed that Travis would love that band and should be in that band.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that kind of music, that smile
Yeah.
that he's got right
I
there,
love
it's
that
like,
kind of
yeah,
music.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a Les Claypool smile, you know?
You know what I noticed though? One thing, the headliner Slayer, of course, they're Slayer.
Yeah.
And they had their little fireball shooting thing that went all night.
Sorry, I had to do it once.
Just when they flashed the word Slayer up on the curtain, and they're all losing their shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's freaking out. Slayer!
Pentagrams
Yeah.
and crosses
I
upside
thought-
down. And,
I only stayed for about 3 Slayer songs.
that's all we did.
But
Yeah.
He looked at me, he's like, there you go.
I would think that the headliner Slayer would have been dialed in, because that's what got me excited. After watching Primus, I was like, "Oh, if they sound this
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
when Slayer hits the stage, it's got to be a notch above that."
right.
Good luck.
And it
really
wasn't.
No.
It was actually a notch below. They were
Yeah.
quieter, and it was mushy. The snare was real. There was no
Ministry
it was-
seemed
It was
louder
really,
than they
it
did.
was really
Yeah.
mushed together because it was. I think it was louder, but I,
don't
think
know,
they were
man,
trying
but-
to achieve it by being louder. Stuff got lost in the mix. It was mushy, and the crowd screaming. I don't know. The the flames were cool.
That's what I mean.
The
That's cool.
pyrotechnics
For a metal
were
show,
fucking really
for sure.
awesome.
It was cool. It was
loved
Slayer. It was cool. I said, "There's
Yeah.
Slayer." Now
Yeah.
I've seen Slayer. Check it off my list.
Yeah. It's
And
funny.
get out of here
That's
before
what
the
I want.
fights
It's funny.
start.
This,
You know
is,
what I mean?
this is hilarious to me because you are actually delivering the explanation like a travelogue of what happened to me when I saw Slayer down at the Levee all those years ago.
Oh, QC
Right.
Live.
Did you go? Did you? Yeah. Did you
I
go
went
to that show? Were
No,
you there?
I didn't.
That
I
was the
think-
first and only time I saw Slayer. I left early because I found the people that were watching Slayer to be insufferable people.
What year? What year?
What year was that?
2006 or 7?
Yeah, somewhere in
I thought-
there.
okay. I thought
5
it
or
was earlier
6.
than that.
Well, here's the other thing I wanted to note about that concert down on the Levee is like while I was there watching them, part of the reason why I was like, yeah, fuck these guys, it's because it wasn't like they weren't playing good or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was a look that was on the bass player lead singer's face, Tom Araya, the entire concert.
I can only imagine.
That had that look that was just like, all right. And I thought to myself, oh, he knows this is really dumb.
Yeah.
Like he knows that wrestling is fake now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Santa Claus doesn't
Well,
exist.
here's what I was looking
and
at.
fucking
Yeah.
like now he's up there
Here's what I was
having
looking
to
at.
keep fucking flogging this fucking dead horse.
I had, as soon as Slayer hit the stage, and you can judge me, but this is my honesty about it. I'm a 46-year-old man that, I liked 80s music. Slayer was something that the kids that really got kicked out of school and started smoking when they were real young had Slayer shirts. And
Right.
so,
Sure.
they were
Yeah.
like the bad kids, it seemed like,
Bad boy metal.
Right. And all of us, kids that actually graduated had like Kiss shirts on. So, no, I'll cut that out.
No, Brian, it stays.
But what I saw from my perspective, I was looking down at the stage and I was trying to take it in as much as I could, man. And when that bald guitar player came out with the spike sticking out and all this stuff, I'm looking at it like, and I'm a huge Kiss fan, and I'm used to dressing the part. But see, Kiss is being fantasy. They're being something that it's not a real thing. What these people in Slayer are doing is trying to emulate some look that means metal.
Yes.
Like they would dress like that to pick their kids up from school, and they've all got kids, and they look silly to me. They look like they're in some uniform, and it works for most people. But for me, I'm looking at it like, oh, look at that man dressed up like Slayer.
I feel bad for him,
Dude,
kind of thing.
the lead singer of the band Deicide.
I don't know, man.
Carved
Still
like a
has
fucking, like a upside down cross or a swastika or something in his forehead. Carved it in there.
Can you imagine parent-teacher conferences with that?
That's what the thing is funny. This is the funny thing. Is like,
So,
I don't
your
know.
kid today,
no, seriously. Photos came out of this dude getting his like Sears family portrait with his very normal looking wife and his very normal looking daughter, and he's in the picture, like smiling or whatever, and he's got a fucking scar on his head. Okay. That's a little serious, pal.
My second favorite thing about that night and all them bands on that show entirely was I found out that Slayer fans, 98.9% of them smoke, because in between bands that smoke deck was packed.
Really?
That was a full house show, and I guarantee that in between bands that place almost cleared out, and they were all on the smoke deck.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'd walk out there like this, like trying to smush between
trying to
people.
find the one spot that doesn't have more than one elbow,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It was. I videoed it because it was so.
I bet you
like, what?
90% of everybody there smoked.
Probably.
Pretty much.
Some probably didn't even leave the seats.
And
They're just like,
I mean,
fuck it.
now when you
Like,
say smoking, do you also include vaping, or we're just talking about smoking
cigarettes.
cigarettes?
smoking cigarettes.
Smoking
Every single, them little containers that people smush their cigarettes in, the tube, you know, that play cigarette here.
Right.
Every single, there's probably 6 of them out there, and they're all on fire.
Just
seriously, they're selling beers, pouring beer on it, trying to put it out, and they're like $12 cans of beer, and people are like, hey, I'll drink that, damn it. It was it was a cross section of society in that on that side of things, and it was really interesting to me. Well, I couldn't believe when I walked in, Chuck said, oh yeah, there's floor, like general admission. I said, what? The Tax Slayer is doing general admission at a Slayer concert? Didn't they learn their lesson at Pantera when they tore the floor up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason the floor was really kind of lame at the Slayer.
Well,
And everybody just
when
kind of
Slayer-
stood there like, oh, okay.
They were tired. They were winded. It wasn't. Dude, seriously.
Phil Anselmo played.
That's an audience with a breathing problem.
They got it all out, and they were just, I gotta take a break. You guys go out.
Yeah, sweaty, shaven heads.
Time out.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then here
big
comes-
woolly, moist beards.
Yeah, while the Slayer, they're probably all vegans and on like some sort of special diet.
just
And
I just thought
Tasted
about
that.
it rubbing against me. I was like,
they're non-smokers. They don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
They're back in their little cushy
Oh, yeah.
dressing rooms while all of us losers are out there smoking.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Because I guarantee
Same.
they don't live that anymore.
No.
No,
You
you
know?
hope not.
And
maybe these
imagine-
are the ones
Yeah,
that
but
do.
here, imagine being Slayer though, and backstage you meet all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Right.
everybody that wants to meet you is gonna be like, dude, man, hell yeah, what's Slayer?
And they're probably like,
oh, I can't even
nice.
imagine having that as like your legacy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would get so annoying.
It's another
It's
meet and
annoying
greet,
when we say it.
you
Imagine
know?
living it every night of your life.
Man, I'm really hating on Slayer fans.
No, I'm just
No,
saying
but
this.
it's, you're looking at it through their eyes, like
Yeah.
man, like
Tom, can you
it's
We're
believe
seeing the
this
musician
shit?
aspect
Yeah.
more
of
of
it.
these damn
Believe
kids are gonna
this
come
shit.
in here and yell Slayer at the top of their lungs, and I'm gonna be like,
I'm gonna fucking stab
Cool,
somebody with that
bro.
pentagram we
Yeah.
have
He's
hanging
got-
up there.
yeah.
you know?
thanks for buying a ticket.
Slayer,
Tom Araya
Slayer,
has
hey,
great-
we have a band called Slayer.
Tom Araya has grandchildren.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
You know,
does.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's a normal person with
Yeah.
that job, and now
Yeah.
it's carried on. We were talking about that on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you go into this thing that you get famous for when you're in your 20s,
Right.
and it's this movement that's popular then.
Whatever,
And
yeah.
now you've got to be that person
Right. Never
forever.
let you go.
Yeah.
right.
And then later on, you start turning 30, and then you're 40, then you're 50, and you're doing a nostalgia show, and you got to put your costume on that used to be your identity, like
Sure.
for real.
Like
Like,
Kiss
but now
guys,
you're just kind of like, I'm not that kid anymore.
No shit,
right,
dude.
right.
It really presented itself to me when I start seeing all these 80s hair metal, because hair metal was an era that you had to have youth to do, unless you were the Scorpions. That dude looked like he was 50 already. You know what I mean? I don't know how they got away with that.
He
I
looked
don't-
like
I
a
don't
grandma.
know
Did you
But
ever
when-
see Gallagher and that guy in the same room? No. There you
When
go.
metal was young, you didn't have to have looks, but when metal turned into hair metal, and then it was this whole pretty boy
Right.
with the music and the hooks and all that stuff, like Sebastian Bach, all these Brett Michaels, all these people that are just trying to hang on to looking like they're 20 still.
Oh, yeah.
And they're 55.
Right.
And now
yeah.
it's
You know,
weird.
and every decision, I can't have that cookie, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't, you have to stay skinny. You
That's
have
right.
to do that thing.
Gonna
That's-
eat this fucking salad.
The beauty-
Broccoli.
Except for Vince Neil. Vince Neil said, fuck it.
It looks
Yeah,
like
he did.
Vince Neil ate Vince
He's like,
Neil.
fine, I'll eat the salad,
Yeah.
but I want 17 hot dogs
Yes.
afterwards
Yes.
and a quart of Breyer's ice cream.
Yes.
The cookies and cream, please.
I have this.
A pint glass of ranch.
When Kiss was making the Kiss Extreme close-up video, they sent crews out. This is back in the Bruce Kulick era and the Eric Carr era, but they sent camera crews to follow them around on an entire tour, and they never made this documentary. But the footage leaked out, and there's like 6 hours of it at a time of just unedited stuff that they have backstage at these shows. And this, Kiss was. They weren't huge at the time, but it was still Kiss.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And they were backstage with them. The conversations they had before and after the show, it's all on YouTube.
Wow.
And what was hilarious about it is Paul Stanley was constantly, I lost weight for the tour, and he's on this diet. And the whole running theme of all the shows, it seems, is that Paul is, well, I can't really eat anything on this tour. It got in good shape. Yet he's got like a bag of chips in his hand.
Yeah.
And then every time you see him, he's eating like a cookie
yeah.
or something like that. But then it's in the background. You can see him in the background of the
Yeah.
footage. He's not
Yeah.
on camera. It's like they're
Right.
talking to Gene, but he's in the background eating a cookie. Right? But then when he's on camera, he goes, the crew has the better sushi or whatever. I like to come up here and get the dolphin-free tuna. It's a little better for you. And, blah, blah. And then it cuts to someone like Bruce Kulick talking, yeah, we're going to do a good tour. And he's in the background eating cookies.
Nobody's watching.
Exactly.
But,
Give me the pizza.
yeah, but it was just funny to watch because it seems like he has to control himself to look
Right.
good with no shirt on
Yeah,
stage,
yeah, yeah.
And it just, I thought that was really interesting. Imagine you got big being this young guy, and now you got to try to act like a young guy for the rest of your life. That's all.
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Women have been trying to do that the entire time, though, because feminine beauty is, in the minds of many women, is their most important trait, and it fades with age.
Sure.
But rock stars that are men they're subject to the same problem, and they say might start going down like some weird road of plastic surgery and all this kind of crap. And I just think it makes people look fucking weird.
So let's talk about this for a second because it seems like it's all over the place. The big news of the Def Leppard, Poison, and Motley Crue, and
This is where I go.
them dissolving
man.
their "We're not ever going to play again."
I know.
Oh,
What
yeah.
kind of
That's not even. I don't even care about that.
So what
That's-
happened? What do we
They
think
said they're not going
happened?
to play, and now they're playing, and now they're going on tour with Poison and
I think
Def Leppard.
it's just like anybody else, any other bands that make, like a Kiss farewell tour, they make you wonder if they're ever going to play again.
No.
So they say, nope, we're not going to.
And I think the mortgage was due, man.
That's what I
Pretty
think,
much.
man.
I think that they were realizing that, I could still maintain this lifestyle that I have now, or I can downgrade a little bit to survive.
Yeah.
And not
Or
have
I
to
could
do
go
that
do
shit.
this thing again real
Yeah.
quick and
Yeah.
then live like this for another 10
Yeah,
years.
go swallow
Right.
the fucking sword.
But how much of it do you think was theatrics as far as like Tommy has to enter rehab and
I
Vince
don't
has
care.
to lose 40 pounds,
Yeah.
Well, here.
It's theatrics.
Let me sum up my feelings about that whole thing. Seeing that tour and knowing that all them bands are going to do what they're going to do, I don't give a shit
Me either.
at all.
No.
I don't care. To me, it's almost humorous.
Correct.
Like Poison's going on tour and everybody, what? I'm like, are you serious?
Right.
We still want to go see this?
But you know,
I know no one that had that reaction.
But you know
No
what?
one.
The woman,
My mom, probably. I don't
There
know.
it is, dude. Doug's mom.
the woman and cat meme that's going around about that tour though says something like, "You said you're never going to go back on tour again." And the next pictures of Vince Neil says, "Hey, I got to eat."
Yeah.
You know, it's exactly what it is.
You think,
was
that's, you
correct.
think
Yeah.
that is like a double entendre?
Right.
I think it was supposed to mean that. It was a picture of him with
Yeah,
his belly
exactly.
sticking
Yeah.
out. If you can't button your denim jacket, you shouldn't be wearing it.
But you know, I
Yeah,
saw
that's
somebody
what's-
talking
that's
about that
probably
too.
true. That's probably true.
You know, it's Phil Verone of Skid Row or Saigon Kick, the drummer. He's like, if you're complaining about Vince's weight,
Yeah.
and you're saying all this shit, you were never a Motley Crue fan to begin with.
So what you're saying, Chuck, is that if I decide that I don't like Motley Crue now, it's because I never really liked them? And
No,
you're sure about
no,
this?
it's just that you should be
Final
thankful
answer.
that there's bands out there that still want to entertain you like that. and
Okay,
still-
look.
that you get to see them again.
All right.
I would.
Shut up,
Final
Bob.
answer.
All right.
Andrew McNeese, he owns Melodic Rock Records, which is some independent record label.
Okay.
He was saying on Facebook that, we're all going to age at some point. We're all going to gain weight. We're going to lose our hair. Just shut up.
I'm several seconds older, I should
Correct.
say.
You could be
I decided
Vince Neil someday, and you're sitting here because you don't look like him, judging him. Who are you to say that won't be you in a couple of years?
Chuck, here's the thing: the soundtrack and the video to my youth,
Correct.
is what it is, and it's sacred to me. I want to see it that way.
It's that preconceived notion.
To see it the way it is now
Yeah.
takes from the value
Thank you.
of what I looked
Thank
at
you.
then.
Sure. I get
in
it.
ways that I don't really want to face.
Wow.
You know
I
what I'm
would,
saying?
I would not want to
Completely
see
agree.
a really fat old Chino from the Deftones and the Deftones playing 20, 25 years from now.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
That would not be good.
takes
I
away
could-
from that image in your head.
The last time I saw
Yeah.
them was
Yeah.
before their bass player Chai passed away. I have not seen them live since they had a new bass player because I know it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like,
You want
so
to
I
leave the
get
image
that.
intact in your memory. Yeah.
I mean, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that's not Motley Crue.
When I see Motley Crue, you don't even hear the vocal the way that you
Right.
did anyway. The energy might be there, the show might be there, but it's missing the thing that I fell in love with.
There was an intuitive link between the developmental place of the individual members and how that all combined in order to be able to make it so that the persona of these people could actually carry the music. But we all listen to the music now trying to be reproduced without the persona,
Sure.
and now it just falls flat.
Brian's saying about, you have this image in your head of rock stars and stuff like that, and that's why you don't want to go see Vince Neil. It's the same thing of you watch people on TV and you're like, man, I bet he's the coolest guy in the world. I want to meet him someday. Then you go meet one of your idols and you go, what a dick.
Yeah.
And it ruins that whole image in your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of aspect.
I think of that as being a problem of trying to approach
Yeah.
and have conversations with people that you have nothing in common with
Correct.
and no reason to be talking
Yeah.
to.
And he's just a
That's
superhero in your mind. yeah.
Exactly.
That's a
Let him-
weird deal,
leave him
man.
alone,
Yeah.
man.
I was just saying, tying into to Motley Crue. That's how Karabi was for me. He was my favorite version of Motley Crue, and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting to play with John Karabi. I'm getting to meet him, hang out with him, and then he was just an absolute dick.
I'll tell you this: Motley Crue with Vince Neil obviously is Motley Crue. There's no way that you can do
Correct.
anything
I
else
agree.
but each member that's in that band. You might be able to get away with replacing Mick Mars, maybe, but you'd have to die. And then you'd have to bring in another. It couldn't be like, they couldn't get along and they hired somebody else to play his part, because then you're like, bring Mick Mars back. But if he died and they had to replace him, they could still live with maybe that. But anybody else in the band, they're done.
Right.
For me, it's not Motley Crue anymore.
Sure.
And then when John Karabi came into the band, of course his voice was great, but it wasn't
Man.
Motley Crue, man.
Correct.
I never listened to any Motley Crue with Karabi, so
the
Yeah.
alchemy.
I'm glad I didn't, because it probably would have ruined Motley Crue's image.
right. Whatever that alchemy of persona
After Vince
is.
Neil.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how it is that people combine their personalities together to make.
I don't think Queensryche was Queensryche without
Chris DeGarmo, Jeff Tate.
Just if somebody else is singing it, or, even Journey. I didn't think after whatever that dude's name is too.
Yeah. I'm torn on Alice in Chains,
Steve Perry. So
because I really actually do like the Black Gives Way to Blue album.
Out of all the Seattle bands, what one was the legit Seattle sound?
Ooh.
Which one would you be proud of and saying like, yeah, I liked that era for this band?
You got to do band and album. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying band.
What's that?
I would say Green River and Mother Love Bone.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you're just trying to be cool, dude.
No, seriously, that's where Seattle started.
I
Was
heard
those
it.
two
wow,
bands.
you little.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it was Alice in Chains.
See, I don't know.
To each their own.
I'm with.
Whatever, man. It was Mudhoney and Tad.
I would like more. So since you know who my mom is, I was maybe what you could consider sheltered a little bit. Like I didn't remember. I don't think I've ever watched my first rated R movie till I was like 16. My mom just,
what was it?
Whoa.
I think it was like Lost Boys, and I was like, it's not even that bad.
Oh,
But there's that sex scene in there.
Yeah.
You can't be watching
That's what I was
that.
gonna say.
you know,
Did
you
have
know,
any
It's
idea?
whatever. She was.
Yeah.
It's fine.
you
But-
missed Bo Derek running down the beach in 10.
Oh yeah.
That's what you missed as a kid.
He missed knowing what this hard thing in his pants was all about.
Exactly. Go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
So since I was sheltered when I was a kid, Nirvana was the first thing that like broke through enough. My parents couldn't stop it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They couldn't stop
Yeah.
that huge spark that
big.
Smells Like Teen Spirit was on every half hour on the
Everything.
hour on MTV, and like I loved watching MTV when I was a kid. And my mom, I'm dating myself now, but how get 12 CD or get 12 cassette tapes for a penny, but then you have to buy like 10 of them at regular price. But cassette tapes back then were like $30 or something like that, $24.99. Anyway, but Nirvana. It was the first it was so big that you couldn't help. It was not underground anymore.
Yeah,
it wasn't
right.
like
Yeah.
So I would think Nirvana's got it's the Kings. That just
You know,
No,
I
the
think that
question,
there's
though, is
I think
loaded,
that there's some momentous bands like that change things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's kind of strange because you think of like our era, the bands that were iconic made that era the way it was, and then there was our class of, or not, there was our age of people that ran with that, and then there was this whole thing that happened that was Nirvana,
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, from then on, there was a wide gap between these people and what they still carry as a flag, and these new people, and you're one of them. And anytime people mention that, there's still a part of me that's like, oh, he's a Nirvana kid. And then to me, I'm like, oh, so you like noisy rock that really doesn't have any polishedness to it, and it's not an art form. Like, and then I realize what they are, and they're
Right.
more of like a folk. Band,
Like
they're
folk
right and
it was
raw.
simple. It was simplified.
Absolutely.
It was
folk
Because the
phenomenon.
80s
Yeah.
got so overdone,
Right.
they were waiting for something that was wood again.
Right,
Something that
culture.
was
That's right, dude.
grass.
and that's
Yes.
my mom.
Oh, dude, it's fucking
I,
perfect.
I was raised on the Warrant and Skid Row and Cinderella and Rat and Dog. I have my mom's cassette tape collection. I should have probably brought it over, but I mean, all the 80s metal and hair bands, whatever you would call that genre, heavy metal or rock and roll. That's what I was, and then like, as soon as that Nirvana hit, like that's all I wanted to listen to.
There it
like I was
was.
like, it was something new for me, and I was like, this is my new. This
No, it wasn't just something new for you. It was something new to
for
everybody,
everyone.
and something
Right.
you could latch on and make your own.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Because
It
the
was
stuff you came
it
into was
my
already
generation.
everybody's.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then this Nirvana thing hit at the time where people were looking for a direction to go musically or
Yeah.
Right.
identity wise.
You could definitely tell there was a split.
Yeah.
In
Nobody
like,
wanted to be in
like-
shiny black
Yeah.
pants with poofed out blonde hair.
No, they wouldn't.
They're not going to follow that anymore.
Flannels
Nope, they knew
and
that was stupid.
holy
Yeah.
jeans and chain wallets. Like
Yep.
Dude.
So much that bands like Warrant and Kiss and Motley Crue, they
Yeah.
all started trying to adapt to a heavier sound as
Yeah.
soon as Nirvana came out because they saw the
Yeah.
changing of tides.
Yeah.
They're like,
Absolutely
we got to
they
change
did.
or else we're
And
not
that's
going to
right.
be around.
And that was
Right.
grosser than anything to
Thank
me.
you.
That's my favorite
Thank
Kiss
you.
album, though.
Yeah.
Which
It's
one
like
is that one?
Souls.
It's like if Hostess Twinkies got jealous of Ding Dongs, so they started putting Ding Dongs in the box. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I
Yeah.
wanted Twinkies.
Yeah.
God damn it! Right. I don't want Ho-Hos. So why are you switching your product? There's
Yeah.
this product and then there's this product. Quit trying to emulate this product because
Oh shit! A
to me,
pudding pie.
you lose
God.
everything that's good about you, and you look like followers now.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, you're right, man.
Yeah.
But some pulled it off. I mean, some went through that era pretty.
Okay. So is what you're saying something like it's the authenticity that when you come in contact with art, it can make it so that something is obviously inauthentic that maybe even you liked last week.
Right.
But like as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, those fuckers. It's like you saw through whatever the illusion they were trying to cast and weave for you with their album covers and
Like
their
early Pantera.
Yeah.
It was like, it was 80s
For sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
hair metal
Yeah.
at its finest.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, like you said, bands started going heavier. They went heavier, and it actually worked for them.
It really did.
Yeah. Then they
Yeah,
had
but then
their
they
own,
created something that
a
was
whole
brand
other
new once
genre.
again.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
another one of them
Yes.
bands that
Yes.
once you, it's like you're adding, it's like the gods of music are adding ingredients one at a
Yes.
time.
Right,
yes.
And we're seeing the ingredients
Yep.
go in like, here's Nirvana.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Same thing with Kiss. Same thing with Marilyn Manson. Same thing with Slipknot, Mudvayne. All these bands came out at the right time when the music scene needed it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why they blew up. That's all it comes
For
down
sure.
to.
My
You're
mom-
absolutely right.
My mom made me burn my Marilyn Manson cassette tapes.
Everybody thinks there's like, oh, he
Right.
worships the devil. Well,
Yeah.
it's marketing. He's
Even though
smart. He doesn't.
she
was-
was
Mom, I
a
think you
huge Alice
worship the
Cooper
devil.
fan.
Right.
That was one of the artists that came out, that Manson thing, that I obviously was looking at something that I couldn't relate to.
Sure.
It's gimmicky.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it was more of like the kids with the, like, "Psh, come on, dude. Like, you know, whatever. I don't know.
It's like, yeah, all right.
What is that?
I
The
get it.
goth or
Goth,
thing?
yeah.
So that I was a little past that.
You're not convinced by
but
sex.
that was a
I
good
get
goth
it.
But he did things. He did things in his style of music. He did things that scared me a little bit, and I haven't felt that from any artist in a long
Like,
time.
physically scared you?
No, there was something about looking at him
creeped you
that,
out?
like that
Whoa.
dude is not
Whoa.
normal. You know what I mean?
Right.
That dude is something
But
that
he's one of the
can't-
smartest
I don't-
people out there. Like,
And then when I
yeah.
heard that he's laughing all the way to the bank, he's very intelligent.
yeah.
And I was like, of course he is.
Of course
he is.
It's gimmick, and it was a gimmick. This, like you said, you got scared. I remember kind of being scared the first time I saw Manson, but I was so intrigued.
Correct.
I was like,
The dude put
what is
tits
this?
on. He had tits.
Yes, my
for
mom
a
was like,
while.
"What is this? This you're never gonna listen to this ever." And I'm like, "Mom, like you liked Alice Cooper, and he's cutting babies' heads off on stage."
Yeah.
Right.
It was just,
Yeah.
it was the new shock. It was like,
Just when you think there couldn't be another Howard Stern or another Cooper or Kiss,
Right. It was
just when you thought
it
there
was a
couldn't,
new
you
one.
couldn't be shocked anymore because we've seen Human Aftertaste, and we knew we couldn't be shocked. Then there was Manson, and then there was, like I said, a new kind of scary edge to him
Yes.
that it didn't seem like you could see through it right off the bat.
Right. I was like, is this guy really just a Satan worshiper? He just gave him like, I
See,
mean,
but-
the
okay.
contacts in his
It was
eyes. Make
intriguing.
him, like,
Speaking of shit that
yes,
ruins that, though, Doug, like shit that actually will ruin it, is that as soon as you come in contact with G.G. Allen, then you're like, oh, these other fuckers aren't even
They're
rock and
nothing.
roll at
No,
all.
he's
Like,
real.
they're not even.
nobody knows
Anything.
fucking
G.G.
GG
G.G.
Allen.
Allen eats,
Nobody-
slept, and breathed his lifestyle.
It was rock and
and
roll, dude.
poop.
And shit.
the poop. Don't forget the
Because,
poop at
by the
you, eat
way,
it.
rock and roll and shit, human shit, they are not separable, untangleable
No.
concepts.
No.
They're
They should never go
fucking
together, either of them.
Right together, absolutely.
But don't
Yeah.
you guys think though that when we
Too much. Gigi was before his time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
we adhere to that, and then when we see new people doing new things, we're just like, I ain't buying it. I watched a baby being born. I don't need this shit.
Exactly.
I have to name drop.
I saw the universe break open and life come screaming out.
Yep.
What the fuck are you going to do with me with your lyrics about World War II? Because you're like,
So it's hard to
19.
impress somebody my age
Right.
to begin with.
I
But
will-
I think
sorry,
I'd be
go
able to recognize though when a band is doing something that's viable.
Right.
I might not 100% relate to it, but that's kind of what I liked about 1152. They had something about
Right.
them, like with Dusty, the way his essence. It looked cool to me. It
I-
looked like a character.
I will name drop Pit Lord if you have not heard or seen Pit Lord.
I think we ought to have Pit Lord on the show, honestly.
Yeah. So,
I love those guys, dude.
Dude,
Lennon Ehlers and...
dude, that's like almost like a
Freitag,
new.
dude.
It's like a new type of show because
Yeah.
they have a light show that is programmed out along with their drummer.
Yep, that's right.
Which is AKA a grill behind them on stage,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Yep.
So I have to give it up for them that I think they're breaking a boundary and
Now-
trying something new that's not really been done around.
Well,
here.
they're establishing a genre, and
Yes.
and it has something to do with. And please correct me if I've got the wrong word. I don't want to mislabel the genre, but I think it is something like barbecue metal
or meat
What?
metal or something.
meat
Grillcore.
meat
Dude,
metal.
metal.
Grillcore.
Real
Yeah,
core.
exactly.
Dude, it's something
Yeah,
like that. Yes.
yeah.
Dude, they have spatulas.
It's fantastic.
With Pit Lord on it.
Yeah.
They have aprons because I mean they just like to smoke meat.
Yep.
And eat, and play metal, and that's what they combine.
what they do,
And that's art. It's not just about music. It's about being different. It's about creating art.
Making music.
Expressing yourself through a different way.
It could be that they're just being honest too.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah.
Like what's something that's characteristic about me? Oh, I really love to smoke meat. Perfect. Let's get it in there.
Drinking beer, smoking meat.
We can do this.
And playing the heaviest of the heaviest things.
Yeah.
Trying to you know.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, it's so good.
I
love it.
I've never heard this, but now I want to.
You never listen to any Pit Lord?
No, I got to.
We should listen to some. Well, I mean,
And they're a local band?
yeah,
Correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I made a point earlier about how it is that persona can carry music.
Correct.
Because people are interested enough in the personalities or the combination of personalities that make those sounds, and of course how they weave themselves into the sounds, that people are like hypnotized by it. They see it and they
even Kiss, when they took off the makeup, people didn't know how to take them. They're just like, oh, that's not Kiss anymore. Because they didn't have the makeup. It kind of ruined the image in people's heads.
Well, it's like when Madonna cut her hair. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like that,
Actually, the world changed when Jason Newsted cut his hair.
Correct.
In
There's
my
that
world,
too,
when he cut his hair, I was like, what in the hell is wrong with you?
Why?
Who are these good old cleanup boys?
Yeah.
They're going to fire you.
Yep. Brian was like, "Hey, Trav, do you want to come join?" Oh, you need a wig.
In what order did Metallica cut their hair? Newsted?
Yep.
And then was it Lars or was it Hetfield?
Hetfield.
I thought
Hetfield
Lars
went
didn't
from
have any.
Yeah.
Hetfield to like greased back Hetfield.
Yeah.
Like instantly.
Do you count implants? Do you count those?
I was saying, I didn't think Lars had any.
Yeah.
Lars is like lost his hair. That's probably they all felt
Hey,
bad. They're like, hey man, we'll cut her hair.
He banged it
Here's
off.
a
you
trivia
guys.
question.
Oh.
Alice in Chains Unplugged. What did it say on Inez's bass?
Friends don't let friends cut their hair.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was
That's
all
what
about
it said on Mike
Metallica.
Inez's bass, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it said that on Alice in Chains.
Chains.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
but it was
Yeah,
about
but it was
Metallica.
about Metallica.
Metallica, yeah.
Don't cut your hair.
Guys don't let friends.
So
You
I met
fucking
Metallica
traitors,
once.
You fucking traitors.
I met Metallica once in a meet and greet, and I didn't know what to say to Newstead, so I asked him if he knew any good barbers. And apparently, that's not the right thing to say to him.
That's like when 97X
little
kept
though,
calling
right?
Dave.
They're all little.
Kept saying Dave Mustaine was in Metallica on that phone interview that they had with him. Wasn't that what it was?
Oh, yeah.
They kept changing. They're like, so your Metallica show that's coming up.
When he's talking to Dave
And he
Mustaine?
kept hanging up. Yep. Kept hanging up.
Well, I was listening to that interview, and I was laughing my ass off when Dwyer Michaels were interviewing him, because I know Dave Mustaine from interviews and just watching Megadeth, and he's a touchy man.
Yes.
You know, and right off the bat, I think one of them, Dwyer or somebody said, well, we've got Dave Mustaine from Metallica. I mean, yeah, right. And dude, it was like,
He kept hanging up.
boom. And even I felt weird in my stomach. I was like, oh no.
No.
Because I know Dave Mustaine, he's going to think that they're messing with him. They did it on purpose, and they're trying to get a rise out of him. So they can get the little clip of the week or whatever out of him.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, so then they came back and they did it. Well, I think he got hung up.
Yeah.
He hung up,
Yeah.
didn't he? I don't know. We'd have to ask Dwyer Michaels, but lost the connection somehow. And then later on, one of them asked, I read your book, and I like this part and this part. Like, how do you write this crap?
Right.
He took it totally like Dave Mustaine would, and I was like, oh no, they don't get. Trust me, man. Dave Mustaine's gonna think everything you say is an attack.
Lost in translation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And
yeah, that sucks.
And then it was it. That
That was it.
That was
Pretty much.
I think
Jesus.
I would have rather heard that interview though.
Correct.
Than if it would have been like the new record's gonna be out June, whatever. But I like the uncomfortableness about it. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does give you a chance to see how people are going to handle things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
And that is interesting information. That's inside information.
Hey,
it's inside dope, pretty much.
Okay, so
These guys
you know what?
say.
We should probably end this show on a totally different subject.
Okay,
I like to kind of go out on just something really fun.
Sure.
And seeing how it's close to Christmas right now, do you remember when Christmas was the thing? Right? You couldn't sleep. You remember as being kids and stuff.
Magic.
Do you remember? And I'm sure we'll have all kinds of different eras here, but the toy that you wanted the most as a child, and did you get it?
And never got?
No,
got?
did you get it?
No.
What was it, and did you get it?
I always wanted a Game Boy.
You never got a game. See,
Nope.
yeah.
I had a Super Nintendo, had a Genesis, just never had a Game Boy. They got us because it was us, I said me and my younger brother, the Game Gear. That's what I had.
The Sega Game Gear.
So it was kind of like, but I always wanted a Game Boy. I wanted to play Tetris, and I wanted to play Mario, and I wanted to play those games. But
I think Game Gear was nicer.
it was colored.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
You never got it?
No, we got a Game Gear. We never got a Game Boy.
Did you ever have He-Man stuff?
Yes, I have. I still have them all.
You do?
Really?
Dude, I still have I have a shit ton.
Yeah,
I want to take a picture and send it to you. 'Cause
See, I didn't have everything. I think when I latched onto the He-Man thing, it was right where, if in June you say something about He-Man to your mom, like, oh, that's cool, and I like the cartoon for a minute. And then Christmas is another 8 months away, and in that 8 months, so I kind of grew out of the He-Man, but then I got a bunch of He-Man stuff for Christmas.
Right.
I remember getting it and being like, damn, I don't know what to do with this. Because I was kind of past it then.
Right.
Yeah.
But I got the Skeletor, what is that, the
Skull Mountain?
Skull Mountain,
Yeah.
He-Man,
It had
and
like a little microphone echo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went right in my closet.
You're talking about Skull Mountain, not or Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain,
Snake
sorry.
Mountain, as opposed to Castle Grayskull.
Castle
Oh,
Grayskull.
I had Castle Grayskull.
Castle Grayskull.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then there was the Hordak Village. I don't know if you remember
Hordak, yeah. That would be,
See,
you have to be a She-Ra fan.
Yeah,
If
correct.
you're getting into Hordak.
Well, I remember when She-Ra came out, and when I was still getting stuff for Christmas, and my grandma bought me She-Ra.
She bought you She-Ra.
I remember having that because I was like, He-Man
All right.
got a bitch to fuck
All right.
now. You
Well,
know?
yeah, that's good.
But I mean, I was 7.
What'd you have? Chuck? And I'm sorry you didn't get your game.
It's all right.
Maybe you
Bullshit,
get it
Doug.
this year.
Maybe I'll get a
It
Game
is.
Boy.
It's weird to say, but I remember one of the first things I wanted, but after seeing on TV was, I don't remember what they're called, but they were those projectors that you put the disc into, and you slid. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
through, and
A
they're like
Viewmaster.
3D.
Viewmaster.
Viewmaster 3D, yeah.
Because I just remember being intrigued by the idea of something being like right in front of your face.
It's
and
cool,
real.
yeah. It's cool.
That was like my first. That and of course Nintendo. I mean, I think any kid at
Oh,
our age
NES,
was Nintendo.
NES.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one.
Yeah.
Not Super Nintendo.
We had a Coleco
Ooh, you had a ColecoVision
with the big. They were huge.
the controllers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like buttons.
Yeah,
And it was for like Rocky 3. It was
Yeah.
Rocky and Clubber Lang.
Dude.
It was just a
I
white
was
guy
a
and a
Commodore
black guy on there.
64.
Commodore
When- okay,
64.
when I was coming
8-bit
up-
gaming, man. Awesome.
When I was coming up, it was one of two things. Well, you had the Pong,
Right.
Of course.
Right,
And
but then it was
television
Atari or Intellivision,
Intellivision,
and
yeah.
you were divided. It was like Beta and VHS.
Yeah, well, it was.
We couldn't intermix at all.
No.
If you
Xbox,
brought
PlayStation.
if you
Yeah.
brought the Atari kid over to your house, they didn't know how to work your stupid
Yeah.
disc thing on your
Yeah.
on your I said PlayStation on your Intellivision, and then when I go
Yeah.
try to play their stupid Atari thing with the stick and the button, I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how the hell you do this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
so we
that,
couldn't
man.
mix.
Yeah, dude, we cranked on those
Pitfall
controllers,
Master
too.
right here.
Pitfall.
That was
Heck yeah.
badass. at
Original
Pitfall.
Activision
yeah.
Pitfall.
I remember because if you got to 200,000 points or something,
Well, points count down. From
No,
20
not on our
20,000.
Pitfall. Whatever
Oh,
the
really?
score was that you had to meet, they had on the back of the box. If you get this score, send in a picture of you in front of the TV, and
your
we'll
score.
send you a Pitfall shirt.
Wow.
It's like the best Pitfaller or something.
Damn.
And I'm like, I want that shirt, and so I'm doing that, and I got to the thing.
Cool.
And my mom's like, "Oh, cool!" And she said, "Stand in front of the TV," and she brought out the freaking camera with the
Polaroid.
flash bulb on it.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
can see it.
yeah.
And she goes, "Blam!" And I'm like, next to the TV, all happy about my score and shit. And we had to wait
Yep.
for a while, you know what
Yep,
I'm saying?
yep,
And,
yep.
yeah. And then I'm waiting. I'm like going through all the pictures, pick out my picture, and it's me smiling like a dick, and the TV's like grayed out,
Oh no!
just completely covered with
Can't
the glare,
even
you know?
show, yeah.
And no, didn't get to. And you know, in television, you don't save your game. You're done.
No, yeah.
No.
Save game.
These
What's
kids
that?
don't know what they're talking about. If you got to level 24, you had
That
better
was-
keep playing because
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
your
we
sister
didn't have
came in and
pause.
just like shut the game off.
You didn't have pause.
No pause.
No pause
No
even.
pause.
It's not like you could, I'll just leave this on. No, there's none of that.
No
Right.
pause.
It's you're playing.
Right.
If you're doing good, you're playing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
a big Zaxxon.
Zaxxon, dude. I could
Zaxxon.
never get.
Wow, I
I could
forgot
never
about
figure
that.
out how that altitude meter worked.
Dude, it was so weird.
Yeah.
It is really. That's a really weird concept
yeah.
for a video game.
Yeah.
Wasn't Spy Hunter one of the original?
Spy Hunter. I remember that
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Atari games that we're all about.
Frogger,
Pole Position.
Cuber.
Okay, so if
Frogger,
you were in
Big
the
Doug,
arcade, do you remember arcades?
Moon Patrol.
Oh yeah, dude.
You
I
guys
used
are a
to-
little younger.
Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah, I used to go to Aladdin's Castle
Yeah.
when it was
Yeah.
actually Aladdin's Castle. It was
Castle.
small.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was There
So
were two at
the
North
first
Park,
machine you would go to would be
Street Fighter 2.
Oh,
Street
wow.
Fighter. Yes.
So that's pretty
when
late.
I remember when they came out with like the fighting games.
Yeah.
That's where everybody was always at, playing
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And I used to be able to go put a quarter in, and like beat like 6-7 people, and I just play on my 1/4.
Awesome.
Until
You were
somebody that was
kid.
really good, and he beat me, and I'm
until
like,
some Asian kid showed up,
or
and
my
then that
mom
was
was like,
all
Doug,
over.
it's time to go.
And
And
you
I'm
gotta be
like,
like,
fine. I'm
fine.
like, here, and some kid come up and
Doesn't
take
some
my-
part of you die
Meanwhile-
a little bit, though,
a little
when you-
bit.
Meanwhile, Travis and I'd be back there playing millipede, waiting for that guy you to leave so that we could go over there and actually
Yeah.
play against the
Yeah.
computer or something.
Yeah.
So,
I want to get this. I want to get good like this kid. How's this kid doing that?
Yeah, right.
all right,
Is,
what's
is
up?
it new?
What's up with you,
Yeah,
Travi?
okay.
What's your thing?
My thing, the thing I always wanted. The thing I always wanted. Okay,
World
this is a weird one.
peace.
This is a weird one. Yeah, yeah. And pick up all these goddamn batons. But no. What I always wanted was a telescope. And my story is actually kind of weirdly tragic. Because
Of course it is.
because they actually bought me a telescope. But one of the pieces on it was broken.
Shit.
And it was the piece that made it so that you could focus it at a certain part of the sky.
I think I
point
got
it-
that same telescope, dude.
Yep, and it was broken, and I didn't know it. And my parents were like, "Well, we can't figure out how to put it together."
So Merry Christmas.
So Merry Christmas, you know. And then I had this thing, and it turns out later, I'm like
Upstairs.
looking at. I went over to somebody else's house, and they had one, and that part would look different, and I
you're
was
like,
like, "Man, that was defective." But this was after years went by, you know. So yeah, I always wanted a telescope, a good telescope, and the one that I had, I did a little bit of work with, but you couldn't fix it in a position
Yeah.
in the sky. So I never really got to get into astronomy.
What was the thing that you always wanted for Christmas you never got?
Mine was a guitar. I was 7 years old, and I wanted the JCPenney Harmony guitar so bad. Like, my mom would sit us down and say, okay, here's the JCPenney catalog.
Circle what you want.
Circle 3 things.
Oh
three
yeah,
things.
Ooh.
3 things.
Ballpoint
And they
pen,
you had to
ballpoint pen.
really think about it. You're like, ooh, I don't know, man. Them football pads and helmet look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if I circle this one, then I got to give up the
Right.
whatever
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think I circled the Redskins pads and helmet and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I didn't get it. And the Harmony electric guitar was the
Cool.
number one thing. I had that circled like enough to cut through the paper.
Cool.
Right? Yeah, with an ink pen.
Yeah.
Almost like coming out of there. And yeah, that year it was a black Strat copy Harmony. $99 at JCPenney.
Awesome.
In the magazine there.
Perfect.
And whammy bar.
Yep.
And it came in the cardboard box, you know.
Yeah.
Because I know it was shaped like that. I was like, ooh, ooh. When I saw it under the tree, I was like, yes. I think
Yes.
that opening it, I just remember, dude, this is the coolest thing. When you open that box and when I smelled the lacquer or whatever it was on that guitar, that'll
Yeah.
never leave me, man.
Yep.
That'll never leave me. The
Yep.
smell of a brand new electric guitar. I don't care if it was Harmony or Les Paul. That
Yeah.
thing was a Les Paul to me.
Yeah.
It had 6 strings on it, and I'm going to plug it into that amp over there, and I'm going to play electric guitar in my room.
Right.
You know, this is going to happen.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Dude, the coolest thing ever. That was the best experience, best present, and, you know, I asked for it, I got it, and from then on, it was...
Right.
That was it, man.
Right. But then, you know, and sort of the thrust of our conversation has been how it is that after a certain point in your life, it begins that some of that magic, even though you can still remember it from time to time, some of that magic sort of begins to fade. And I think it's because it's losing its necessity in our minds.
Correct.
We don't need it like we needed it then. So it can kind of go away a little bit. It can
Right.
float out a little bit from us. We don't have to keep such close tabs on it and carry it so close and all the time be petting it and treating it like it's the most important.
It's painful though, because
is.
them
It's
days
death.
were full of when we're talking about music or movies or anything that relates to our youth, you know, we're going to differ a little bit. When I talk about mine, you're not going to be as enthusiastic about it as much as yours.
Yeah.
But for our era, for everybody, it's the same. It ties you back generally to a time in your life where you were still open-minded and you didn't see everything already. You haven't done all your firsts yet.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? You haven't done you have a lot of things to do for the first time.
Yeah.
From that point, you're like, whoa, you're intrigued with life. And it really ties you to a time
Yeah.
that was enthralling. It was something that
Right.
was exciting. And anything that deviates that or crushes that idea and kills that person in you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Is hurtful.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
painful.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like still wanting to coddle and protect your inner child. That's
Right.
really what
Absolutely.
it's about. Rather than letting that thing grow up and become, more integrated.
You can
into your
let that
adult
thing grow
personality.
up, but you can also take that trip back
That's what my question is.
and
though.
understand who you are now
Yes.
because of that.
Yes,
Correct.
that's my question, Brian.
Yep.
Is I don't think the magic's gone. I'm very optimistic about the nature of the existence of the magic. I think for us, we just have to discover ways to integrate that magic that actually still work. So you might look back at it and be like, "Oh man, why was I bothering with all that? You know what I mean? Why was I bothering with all that? What am I bothering with now? That's a good question.
I used to think this was cool.
Yeah,
What?
right, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw a stripper take off her clothes to full nudity while the song Am I Evil was playing.
I've seen
and
that.
somehow that just made me cringe.
Right.
You know what I
Yep,
mean?
good.
Like,
I don't know
was
if it
just
was
like,
exactly that
God,
song.
Go to
yeah.
church.
God, why?
Yeah.
There is nothing sexy about this at all.
I remember-
This is just dudes not being able to close the fucking deal music.
I just know that when the chorus line was around, I remember thinking, "Oh my god, when I'm old enough, dude, I cannot wait
To go to the chorus line.
to go to tuxedos, whatever it was. You know,
Yeah.
the first titty bar experience. You know, and I'm
That
like,
was Duke's.
I got ruined quick because in my mind, I'm thinking of girls videos.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of that. You know,
Yeah.
and I
I'm
walked
like,
in
what
and I was like, they're barefoot. You know, and just
Yeah.
kind of tromping around. Hey guys, you know, it was so
Terrible posture.
It ruined it.
fucking saggy boobs.
And even the mural in the background was beautiful girls that you think would be there, but then
Yeah.
on stage, not to say that they were gross. I'm just saying
There'd be one or two.
They were
There'd
all
be
from
one or
Mount
two.
Joy.
Mostly.
it was
Yeah.
a letdown.
What did you say? They were
They're all from Mount Joy.
They're all from Mount Joy.
Trailer park out there.
So they just put a club out there because it was
What
close
can
to
I-
home.
Exactly.
What
Close
can
to
I get
home.
for you?
You never have an excuse to be late now.
Oh man.
I hated that. You know, the buddies, hey, let's do a titty bar, man. I'm like, all right, because I
save
like
my money.
boobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at 5 minutes being in there, I just feel weird. And then
Yeah.
they want to go. You have your friends that want to sit in Perv Row, which is right on the stage.
Yeah.
And they're going to be getting the lap dances and all that.
Oh yeah.
I'll
Been
pay
there.
the cover and stand in the back, get me a beer, you know,
Yeah.
like just kind of
Sure.
stay away from everything because I don't even want to deal with
Yeah.
that interaction. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'll look,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to, I don't want to talk to them and have them touch me. And plus, they're going to bang their butt into you. I see what they do to everybody else. I'm like, no, thank you.
So now,
Right.
do you think it's because of germs? Like you don't want?
No, I just
you're not microphobic.
I don't want to pay
It's
any
not-
girl like thinking that I need to give you $1 for attention. It
Oh, right,
there was
yeah.
no attraction.
No,
in
yeah,
that
I
to
agree.
me.
It ruins it, man.
Yeah.
It totally ruins
The first
it.
time I ever got an actual
It makes it inauthentic.
private dance, I remember she's leading me back to the private area. She goes, "Don't worry, I'm a professional."
Oh,
And I went,
What does that
"Fuck,
mean?"
This is going to suck.
yeah, right.
Because anytime you have to tell somebody how good you are,
Yeah.
it's fucking
It's better
horrible.
to like,
Yeah.
I'll
And I
let you
remember
touch
I
my
sat there
boobs.
the whole time. She's like,
Yeah.
"So what do you do?" I'm like, "Yep." It just
Other
it wasn't
things.
for me, you know.
right now, get off me.
Right. Here's your money. Get the fuck away.
But I was always
That's
let
what
down
I'm
with
paying
that stuff. It was just,
Dude, it's a
it
bit
ruined
like
it.
that.
Because I was
It
thinking,
does.
oh, cool,
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there and Motley Crue video is going to happen.
sad,
It's going to be
dude.
great.
It's sad.
I knew what $1 got you back when I was going. I wonder if, because it doesn't seem like
Inflation?
they raised their prices.
No,
at
It's
all.
like
don't.
it's like 20
It's still $1.
It's like it's $1 you throw up there, but I think it's like 20 or 30 bucks a private dance or some
Probably,
shit.
yeah.
Last time I went,
How
which
do you
was
know, Doug?
like maybe I've gone like a year or so ago.
You
like, year
can
and a half.
step inside a little world. You get to talk to a pretty girl.
It's a great song.
She's everything you dreamed about, right?
Don't fall in
There you go.
love. Ba-da-dum. She's a beauty.
I got to get out of here, man.
She's a one in a million girl.
Why would I lie?
Would I lie?
For money. That's why you'd lie.
So the Doug and Chuck acoustic show. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Thanks for doing the radio show.
Thanks for having us.
This was an interesting podcast.
It really
we haven't
was,
done one in a
yeah.
while, and we talked over each other. It was probably irritating in spots, but this is what we do. Love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Have
Thanks
fun,
for
man.
watching. Thanks for
fun
putting up
editing.
with us. Love you guys. Minor Disturbance Radio. We'll see you next time.
See you.
Slayer.